a brand new world. You can see it fading in front of your eyes. But what's that? A player? Players are astonishing creatures. There have been millions in the past, but each one has a different personality and lifestyle. I wonder what this one brings to the table. Of course, I already know. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, we have to look at its beginnings in order to understand how its future forms. Each player starts, as one does, with a 3. They punch it in order to unlock some wood. So does this weird specimen. It chops down the tree and then goes on with its life to another place. It goes on and gathers some materials in order to craft some tools and go out on the hunt. Here he has found a golem made of iron in order to gain some nice materials. With this iron, the player can do even more harm, but I don't think that this one is quite as skilled as he thinks he is. As you can see here, I was absolutely right. This fella doesn't even know how to climb the mountain. There he goes, and again and again. Stupid. The player also befriends some animals. When it reaches the mountain top, it rides on llamas in order to make its friends. But why? I don't think even he is certain about that. And eventually, after all the hard work is done, the player returns to a place he will call home for the next couple of days or so. I don't know. He'll mine some resources and do some things off camera in order to create a nice environment for you guys to look at. So I think it's time to meet him. I think it will be time to go and say hi.
Hi. Hey. Hello. I know he wants to say hi, but honestly, let me tell you a little secret. I don't wanna. He's scary. How do you make a documentary of like a guy who's just exploring the world for the first time? I don't know. Anyhow, let's go outside. Welcome to my little humble abode. Things have happened, as you can see. There are trees, there is a nether portal, there is an iron farm behind there. Things have happened. I've gathered some stuff. I've been able to get a lot of things together, and I'm ready. I'm ready to start my forever world with you guys. I'm absolutely ready. Welcome to Building Blocks of History, where we're going to make something historical every single episode. And we'll talk about it. I'll tell you some real historical facts. I'll give you some more information about something historical. You guys learn something, I will learn something. It's a win-win. Bear with me, we're going to go to our first site. Let's get there as fast as we can, and then we'll start building for today. we're here. And as you can see, I tamed the little horsey to get here quicker. But this is the place. Here we're gonna build something. And while you may think I'm gonna use the terrain, that's actually not the case. Uh, I did not bring a bed. That's gonna be hard. I'll try to explain as quick as I can. Um, we're gonna begin our journey with ancient Greece. And why ancient Greece? Because it's the beginning of our civilization. And that's what we're gonna do really. I searched for terrain which was pretty hilly and had some mountains because that's how ancient Greece looked like and still looks like today actually. Greece is a region full of mountains where the people used the mountains in order to make some architecture. And that's the first thing that we're gonna build today, a Greek theater. And I'm gonna need to excavate a lot of this mountain, cut down a lot of these trees because they're in my way, and then we're gonna start building this theater.
Ancient Greek theaters were actually always built inside of mountains, which is the very big difference from Roman theaters, which were erected from the ground using bricks. The Greek theater is actually built this way because the mountain shape was already very good for acoustics and other sound related problems. Because how are you going to reach the people all the way up on the stands on the teatro? Well, the mountain made sure that people could hear the actors playing down on the stage, or the orchestra as it's called in the Greek literature. I'm of course not as smart as the ancient Greeks were. I built the whole mountain myself, which cost me a lot of time, unfortunately. But there's more to ancient Greek theater, because the theater wasn't only used for plays, actually. Sometimes it was also used for offerings for the gods. That's why the center, the stage of the Greek theater, or the orchestra as it's called, was mostly made out of sand, or a layer of wood covered up by sand, because sand was easy to replace when it got filled with blood and other things. That's also why the Colosseum, for instance, had a sandy floor, because they could just scrape out the sand and put on a new layer.
So we finished the mountain. The mountain is done. The stands also with the paths leading up to it. I used light gray wool in order to make them stand out within the shot, and then I used diorite and a bit of spruce for the stands itself. This is how the people would look at it. We have a great view from all the way up here, and you could see the players playing on the stage down there. And this would feel very grand also standing down here. Of course, there isn't everything yet. We still have to build a theater right behind there, but that's still coming. I mean, that's on its way. And then we have like the paths where people would come in. I'm going to build this also in a moment. Don't worry about the gaps in between. That's where dripstone is gonna come. And yeah, this is the feel. You will walk in here, walk around. Not here. This is for the orchestra. And you would look at the stage, at the play that we're gonna play, which is very important. I'm gonna quickly show you how we're gonna build the theater, because that's also important. Let me grab some blocks. Okay, so I gathered everything, and these are the main colors we're going to use. We're going to use a bit of stripped oak, bit of stripped birch, bit of birch planks, and some sandstone to get like the old ancient Greece kind of look in terms of colors. But we have to make a contrast to all of these colors, which we're gonna use some red for.
because red is like really distinguishable from the rest. We can use this in order to make a big contrast, make it feel nice on the eyes. We're also going to use a bit of blues in between to contrast with both of them. Hey, what are you doing here, my fella? Bye. Okay, so this is the color palette we're going to be working with. I think it's going to look great. It's going to look a bit more realistic than this, of course, but we're going to try our best. I'll see you guys in the time lapse.
So we finished the theater. Here it is. I'm pretty proud of this one. I think it looks fairly realistic for what I can do on this scale, but this is what we're having right now. You're seeing the theater, the backdrop for our main people on the stage. You have this as a backdrop. So what you can see is that I used the concrete powder inside to serve as like the sky, the sun, a mountain or a hill. And then all of that together makes it seem like there's a mountain. That's actually what they used to do back then. They had like these sails which they would put up, and they had multiple. They would change it around. Maybe we'll change it around sometime. I don't know. We'll see. But they had these sails. They would change it around per theater piece that they would perform. I added that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. The rest is like it's your basic diagonal build, I think. We don't talk about the sides or the back whatsoever. We can talk about the inside. I've placed a little bit of my storage here. All the weird stuff that I've gathered. That's in here. I think the gates, the arches are pretty innovative, if I do say so myself. Because I used walls to like give the feeling that it's always about 1 block wide. Of course, if you stand over here, then it's not. But usually, especially from the angle that you look at it from over here, it looks like it's a bit less wide than it should be. Like we can see. Take away these walls, and now it suddenly looks a bit wider. Yeah, I don't like this, but when you add the walls, it is a lot nicer, I think. And the same is used over here with also these walls. I might add some end stone walls in here to change up the texture a little bit, but I've not been to the end yet. That's something we'll need to do coming soon. We have these red spots. Those are gonna be banners. We're gonna put them on here, design a cool logo for them, but also that it's like we don't yet have the resources for that, or we could. Honestly, I don't want to take the time for that. It's taking too long for the little details. We have the red, the banners are a thing for a coming episode, same as the back and the sides. I'll work on them off camera, and then you guys see eventually when it changes. Oh, we also have these gates. I don't know if I talked about it yet, but I'll do now. These are the stasima, and stasima is multiple stasimon. It's the entrance for all the visitors. So the visitors would come from the polis to here, and they would walk through these gates. Usually there wouldn't be a place like this, but here it is. And they would walk through these gates and arrive on the theatron and sit down somewhere on the stands, like over here, or they would walk further. They would go to this entrance and then walk over here,
And look over here. And that's pretty impressive, I think. Not that these gates are impressive whatsoever, but they're part of something bigger, you know? We still need to add some trees and things on top, like the detail work isn't fully done yet, but I want this to be done like as an episode. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna close it off for today. I'm gonna really quickly change this around. And I hope you guys all enjoyed. I hope you learned something new. Please leave a comment on what you want to see next. I mean, next episode will definitely continue ancient Greek slash Roman architecture, and we'll do that for a couple of episodes. But then I want to go into a new part of history and do that somewhere else. We have a map. There are a lot of places in this world where we still could go. Like far away, we go up here, we go down here, I don't know, somewhere where it looks different, and then we'll start working there on a new project, and then we'll have multiple districts, like I said, the kingdoms. So please leave a comment down below with what type of history you want to see, and leave a like if you enjoyed, of course. It's the basic things. I'm just starting, so maybe it will be nice for you guys. And then I hope to see you in the next episode. See you soon. I hope that I am able to continue working fast. But we'll see. We'll see. Take care. See ya. And then goodbye.
And as each player begins, this one starts with a 3. Not a 4, but a 3.